Hey, I just wanted to briefly chat about some convenience foods that you can have to stay trim and healthy or get trim and healthy that aren't necessarily packaged foods or frankenfoods. So we all know, like in boot camp, I give my boot campers a list of packaged, shelf-stable food that they can basically use to stay on plan if they run out of things, if they're stuck in the car. It's a massive list. So there are tons of those things, but a lot of them are, packaged. Some of them are frankenfoods, some of them are protein bars that, you can use on plan, but they're not necessarily the most ideal to use often. So that's one category of foods. And that's not really what I'm talking about today. What I'm talking about today are those things that are convenient, make it easier to stay on plan, but aren't necessarily packaged with tons of chemical ingredients. Not that all of those have tons of chemical ingredients, but any chemical ingredients. We don't only want to be eating frankenfoods or packaged foods all the time. So the convenience foods that I use when I'm cooking for my family that make it easier to stay on plan are things like pre-cooked chicken. I just did an Instagram reel where I showed the Members Mark chicken that I buy to make it super easy to stay on plan, especially for lunches, last minute, everything. Others are natural deli meat. You can get pre-cooked brown rice and pre-cooked quinoa and even some mixes. Like I have found at Target of all places one time a Santa Fe mix of, it was just quinoa, bell peppers, corn, and there was something else in it, but it was no added oil, no seasoning. What a great convenient starting place for a fast and easy meal. Other things, you can get pre-chopped onions in your freezer section, so you don't have to chop your own onions. I hate chopping onions, which Bite Club, my post boot camp group, every time I'm doing a meal prep session with them, I'm just like streaming water chopping onions. So I love the pre-diced frozen onions. There are tons of things like that. You could get pre-cooked bacon. You can get pre-hard-boiled eggs. I don't know if you know what that means, but what I meant to say is like at Costco, they have these big packages of hard-boiled eggs that you can get and they're individually packaged. Those are so fast, so easy. You can get some of those egg muffin cups, the sous vide style. Some of them don't have all the chemically ingredients. Some of them are natural and have just like eggs, peppers, things like that. So look out for those foods. Pre-cooked things or pre-made for you things that make it so much easier to stay on plan that aren't necessarily packaged with a ton of ingredients. I have True Roots has a quinoa brown rice garlic mix that is right at the fat limit for an E if you're sticking to one serving, but it's microwavable, doesn't have a ton of ingredients I can't pronounce in the label. So it's a really good option for me. There things like that. So look for those things that help you stay on plan and cut corners when you're getting into the kitchen so that you can have easier meals faster. Another thing that I really like to do is make my own convenience foods when I prep something, I always make extra and freeze it. So I've got something ready to go at all times. Always have pre-cooked ground beef in my freezer, always have brown rice in my freezer, always have quinoa in my freezer. But if I were to run out, those things, a lot of them can be found at the store as well. Veggie mixes, frozen veggies are a staple around here and they're made in minutes. That's a convenience food. You're not chopping. You don't have to do a ton of work. And those are pretty healthy. It's a pretty good choice. So look for things that are super easy. If you're in boot camp with me, you get lists upon lists of easy things that you can make for last minute meals. But just think about what will cut corners, what will save time in your kitchen. What can you grab for quick snacks, especially proteins? If you can stock up on proteins that are made for you, pre-cooked chicken breasts, pre-cooked shrimp, deli meat, things like that, that will save you time as the basis for your meal. I always say if you've got your proteins, you can easily stay on plan anytime. So keep that in mind.